If there are zero Nobody fans, I'm fucking dead. Last night I watched one of my most anticipated movies of the year, Nobody 2, and here are my general thoughts without spoilers. If you like film content, trailer talk, or reviews like this, I'm your guy. Follow for more. Bob Odenkirk is back as the family man, but auditor Hutch Mansell, his action movie persona. There's a new director this time around, Timo Tjahjanto, if I'm saying that correctly, probably not. This is his first English language film, but he's done many other action films. I love the first one. It is one of my favorite action movies of all time. This is the most I've ever wanted a sequel to, I think, anything. Now it's finally out like 4.5 years later. It follows Hutch as he's still doing all of his dirty work, but he wants a break. So he decides to take his entire family on this vacation to a place that his father took him when he was younger. But of course, he gets himself tangled in some bullshit again, where he punches people, but he also gets his ass kicked. Now, do I think this film was better than the first? No. What made the first movie feel so good was the fact that it was fresh, and I think this movie kind of learned some of the wrong lessons from that in its plot structure, but ups the ante pretty much everywhere else. The family dynamic is a lot more important here. Everyone feels evolved from the first, they feel like a family, as well as Connie Nielsen, who feels more like an actual character in this. The new characters are really funny here, they also feel more in line with like the humor of the two films. I think that's also somewhat of a problem because some people are just so self-serious in that first movie, it makes like all the action a lot more funny. And I think that adds a little bit more contrast to the story as a whole, and whilst I think all the characters being of a similar type in this movie is very fun, it kind of leads to there being less substance or oomph. Bob Odenkirk as Hutch Mansell, though, is just awesome here still. He's still got that snark to him and is a believable family man who wants to do right by his family, but is also somebody who is really trying to hold back and usually fails at it. Bob Odenkirk, even after his heart attack, never stopped training, which I think is cool as fuck. He was able to do a lot here, which allows the action set pieces to be really, really fun here. I think this is where the new director gets a lot of his time to shine. There are some really fun sequences and intentional camera work, especially towards the end. I was hoping they'd go there with the introduction of the theme park, and they did. This movie is just so much fun, and I never found myself bored. Maybe I'm biased, but I also just like being in this world again. But that brings me back to the issue that I had with the plot structure of this film. It is almost the exact same. It's a riff off the first one despite being a sequel, just with new characters, different locations, and dynamics. The new stuff is really fun and where the film gets to shine, but I wish as a whole it was a lot more fresh like the first. I like the callbacks because I actually get them, but sometimes it's just really, really heavy. If they do have the chance to do a third one, I'm debating whether they should just double down entirely again and have the same plot structure for the third one, or they try and change it up. What would be better? Even the setup for the villains here is very reminiscent of the first, despite the fact that I did like this better. Colin Hanks as this corrupt, smug cop was one of my favorite parts, and Sharon Stone I was a little bit worried about in the way that she was actually acting, but I think she's so aggressive with it, it kind of works. This movie must have been so much fun to make, and I hope they do make another one to fulfill the trilogy, because like I was with this film yesterday, I will be there day one. Have you seen Nobody 2? What did you think? Remember, all movies are art, and of course follow for more.